Yeah, it's so great to be here. The full story about why I wrote back so enthusiastically was because sort of in between the lines in Randy's email was a whole language for talking about all the stuff that I think about all the time, but I didn't know how to talk about it. And it was clear to me that he was coming from a community that had been talking about this stuff for a long time, and I was just so eager to find that community. I never heard anybody talk about it in the way that he was talking about it. It was so articulate, and just everything started to make sense for me about what I was up to. And so it's really great to be here. So I think about, you guys have been here 15 years now, and I've only been teaching 5 years. And this is a typical classroom that I teach, which maybe is quite different than a lot of the classrooms that you guys teach in. But this is where I learned everything about teaching. And what I learned about teaching in those 5 years is that the assumptions I came in with 5 years ago, every assumption I had about education, even information and knowledge, like real basic assumptions about information and knowledge, all of those have been transformed just in the last 5 years. And it's largely because of something you don't see in this room, that there is actually something in the air. There's literally something in the air. And that is that in the past 5 years that I've been in this room, they have added Wi-Fi access. And this is like fundamentally changed the nature of the classroom. You know, suddenly students had their laptops open and things were happening that a whole nother world was happening outside of my own teaching. And it forced me to look at the web and think about how information flows on the web and how knowledge is constructed on the web and how that changes the nature of what we do. And if I could just take this a step further, this is one way you might envision what's going on in the air all around us, all these different technologies and so on. It's kind of a new mediascape. But if I can take it yet one step further, I just want to mention that I've been doing a lot of studies of futurists and what they think about the future and where this is all going. And I've got this nice little summary. This is your 20-second vision of the future here. All futurists agree on this trend, which is that we are going towards ubiquitous networks, ubiquitous computing, ubiquitous information at unlimited speed about everything, everywhere, from anywhere, on all kinds of devices. So they all disagree on how that's going to happen, but they all agree that that's the trend. And we all know that's basically the trend. And what it means for us is that exams like this, your typical multiple choice exam, maybe aren't cutting it. Now, there's ways that you can write multiple choice exams that are effective, but in general, our assessments, which are based on making sure our students are knowledgeable, are not quite cutting it. And that is because I like to say, just a sort of shorthand for this, is that we need to move from trying to make our students knowledgeable, that is knowing a bunch of stuff, to being knowledge able, that is actually being able to analyze and critique and ultimately even create knowledge. And they can do this within this environment that's now enveloping them. In the air all around them is this new mediascape where they can practice these new skills. And so what I'm going to do in this talk today is I'm going to do a two-parter. First, I'm going to talk about mediated culture, which is to say like how our culture is changing around new media. And then I'm going to look at what that means for education. And the basic pitch I'm going to make is that the challenges and opportunities that new media are framing for our culture are also creating challenges and opportunities for education. And then in turn, like if we embrace these challenges and opportunities the right way in education, they can in turn help us address some of the cultural issues that we're seeing emerge at this time. So they're interrelated in various ways.